Hey guys, it's a Wednesday night again, and here we are with Squadron Live. Uh, I hope you're having a good week. I know that I am, and it's a crazy busy week. Uh, I don't even know where to start. So much stuff going on over here, but it's all good, right? So, last week we had Lee Leibold on here, and I really appreciate him being here, and that was a lot of fun. Uh, every time I have a guest on, I just feel like it keeps getting better and better. The time before that, we had Jeff V on here with us, and every time I have somebody on, we just learn something new, hear something new. It's always interesting. So I hope to be able to continue to do that. I got some other ideas for future shows, so stay tuned to that. Let me jump in the chat and see who we've got in here tonight. Stan was in here early, and I got a chance to answer his question about the Gerald R. Ford from Trumpeter. They have announced a 350th scale Gerald R. Ford, and it's supposed to be in sometime at the beginning of 2025. I don't know if that means January or February or March or what, but sometime in the first quarter of 2025 is supposedly when that's coming out, Stan. So check that out. Let's see. Joseph, good to see you this evening, my friend. And Danny, good to see you. Danny wants to know when the last two Dragon Destroyers will be released, and there's actually three of them, but those are on our. We've got a container headed this way, the slow boat from China, as they say, and that should be here sometime in October. We'll finally have those. See, hey David, how are you tonight? Good to see you. And Jason's with us. A couple of you guys, I know that you have sent some pictures in for the show and tell later this evening, and they looked good. I didn't. I just saw them as I threw them into our new way of doing the show and tell tonight, which I hope works better than it has. So we'll find out here shortly. Let's see. Excuse me. All right. Rex, hello. It would be great to hear about any problems you've had with the Dora up to this point. Well, Rex, really the biggest problem that I've had is just time to, the time to work on it. Uh, I wouldn't say that I have run into any problems yet that can't be fixed. I mean, you can see it behind me. I don't know, maybe I'm halfway through it. So I hadn't run into anything that's just a problem. Just going by what the instruction says so far. But what's kind of got me held up right now, and I've mentioned this before, is I'm about to scratch build the catwalks. So I'm about to venture far, far away from the instructions. So I will probably run into many problems in my next chapter of this build. So we'll find out one day. Carlos, good to see you tonight. And Greg is here. Good to see you. Michael is with us tonight. Excuse me. Y'all will have to forgive me if I cough too much. I was cutting grass about an hour before the show started. So perhaps I shouldn't do that on Wednesday nights, but got to do what you got to do, right? Good to see you tonight, Wes. Let's see. Early indeed. Derek, good to see you. Hot up there, huh? It actually has cooled down ever so slightly here. It has been ridiculously hot the last couple of weeks or few weeks, whatever. And tonight was not terrible for once. So hopefully it'll cool down for you soon as well. Good to see you tonight, David. And Randy coming to us from the Black Hills. Good to see you. And Ed is with us tonight. Good to see you, buddy. And there's Lee. And so let me show you this while I realize that Lee is here watching. So last week, of course, Lee was talking about all the artwork, and we were talking about Squadron books and Don Greer and all this, and we had one guy here in the chat that asked if we had ever seen the JU-87 Stuka in action book that Don Greer painted that was missing the tail wheel on one of the planes. And he sent me a picture of it. I wanted to show it to you real quick. So it was Randy Harvey that pointed this out and sent this to me. So there you go. Don Greer painting, and he forgot the tail wheel. You can see in the second plane or the plane in the background, it's there, but it's definitely missing in the foreground plane. So, uh, very interesting. Glad that Randy pointed that out. Always cool to see little things like that. That's a oops. All right, Nick, good to see you tonight. And Wayne is with us. TD coming to us from Ohio. Good to see you tonight, buddy. And Steven is here. I believe he's got a nice ship for us to look at in the show and tell here shortly. John is with us. Good to see you tonight, buddy. And James. TD enjoyed the chat last week. Oh yeah, I think everybody did. So we'll definitely have Lee back at some point. I know he's headed on a trip soon, just like me. I'm gonna be out of town for a little while. Bill, good to see you tonight. Lady Knievel is here. Good to see you. And yeah, I noticed that usually she's got us a picture or two or three for the show and tell, and that was missing tonight. So no worries though. There will be next month or the next, and we look forward to seeing what you have for us next time you have one. The Way is here. Good to see you tonight, buddy. And Mark is here. Good to see you, man. I was just just seeing all your emails you were sending, all the pictures, so that was cool. Thank you for that. Ken is here. Good to see you tonight. Arthur, David, good to see you guys. And Charles is with us tonight and says he had to buy the the Magic Factory 350 Destroyer that we've got on sale right now. So a new thing, I guess we'll call it, that we started last Wednesday, and it was just, I don't know, we had a silly idea, and so sending out an email every Wednesday, just kind of let you know what's going on in the middle of the week. Sometimes there's not much, sometimes there's more than not much. But we started this what we're calling the Final Countdown deal. Just, I don't know, kind of a cool name to call something. It's like Final Countdown, get it while you can. I don't know. And tonight, the Final Countdown deal is a 350th scale Magic Factory Type 55 Destroyer model kit. It's a very nice kit, and we've got it marked down to $39.99 tonight, while supplies last, so to speak. So if you're into that kind of thing, or like my email said, even if you're not into that kind of thing, it's an awesome kit. The quality of the kit is fantastic. So even if that's not your subject matter of choice, it's a great kit to practice on if you've been wanting to practice your skills in 350th scale ship models. And you don't, maybe you've got your dream ship that you want to build and you don't want to ruin it with some of these fancy weathering techniques and all this. So it's just a good deal. So grab one of those if you'd like to. Let's see. Monty is here. Good to see you tonight. And Frank, yeah, it is party time, buddy. Party time indeed. And Mark is with us tonight. I know you've got some pictures for us to look at here shortly. And David's Jeremiah was a bullfrog is back with us this evening. Good to see you, buddy. Matt and Ken. Michael, heard anything about the C Lab? Yes, actually. So Doll Hobby has received the latest and possibly the last test shot. I think there may be a couple things that they have to still address and I don't want to say fix, we'll say make better. But he showed me pictures of it and it looks really nice. So at this point, I really doubt that we're going to see it by the end of the year. But hopefully first quarter we'll be looking for that. So we will see. I will update you as I know more about it. So, but it's coming down to the end of the production or the end of the design rather, and they should be moving to production very, very soon. Great to see you too, Scotty. Hey, Randy's here. Got a couple pictures from him at the painting booth. That's great. That's how this show originally started out, and I've probably said this 1,000 times. When I first started this show, a little over a year ago now, the original name of the show. I just call it Squadron Live now, but the original name was Build and Chat. And, and my idea was I was just going to turn the camera on at my workbench and work on my models and, talk with you guys. Well, it occurred to me pretty quick that it was very hard to focus on what I was building and painting and run the show at the same time. So I don't know. I'll talk. You guys build and paint. That'd be awesome. Glad you're getting some time at the workbench, Randy. Let's see. Rancho Bob. He's here. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jackie. Let's see. And Ken's loving the Squadron nippers. They are. I'll be honest. They're pretty great. I'm a little partial to them, but they are pretty nice. I'm very, very happy with how those turned out. So glad you're liking them. And the Way wants to know, when are we going to have some more of these hats? I've got all sorts of goodies like that in the works. We've just got to get this final leg of our warehouse move finished. And then we can hopefully focus on we've got these hats to make, some shirt designs, new things like this fancy coffee mug, just all sorts of cool stuff. You're asking about bumper stickers. We want to have all that kind of stuff. And it'll be coming down the line, just not soon enough. All right. Jason, Jason's got the full set of nippers, and we will see some of his work in just a few minutes. Let's see. All right. One thing that I want to mention before we get into the show and tell is this guy is going to be back. So Eduard said that this was going to be a limited run, and it was, and to some extent still is. And but they got so many orders with the first go round. They sent out an email to all the distributors and hobby shops and such, and basically they were not able to fulfill all of their orders, is what they were saying. So they've got to make a few more, and I guess they were going to make some more boxes anyway to replace some. Some dealers got some damaged boxes and whatnot, so they've got to go back to the printer and the production line anyway. So as long as they're doing that, they were going to give us, the dealers of the world, an opportunity to buy a few more. And so we have now opened up this Bloody 100th Eduard kit, the B-17F. It's available again on our website for pre-orders. So if you missed out, or if you want more of them, you've got to put your order in tonight, because we have to commit to Eduard tomorrow how many we would like. And according to them, they are only going to make whatever their dealers buy. Like they said that they're not even going to offer these on their eduard.com eShop. This is just for the dealers and distributors. So, one last chance. And I will tell you, if you didn't get one, it is a fantastic kit. Everything about it is awesome. Of course, the plastic parts come from HK Models, which, if you know anything about the HK Models B-17 kit, it's extremely detailed. And then you throw in all the Eduard added goodies and all the decal options. It's really, really nice. And then, we talked about, I sent an email, if you bought one from us, I sent an email out talking about a poster that we were going to offer to anybody that bought the kit from us. And that poster is finished now. And I will say that I'm pretty thrilled with it. It looks fantastic. Peter did a really, really good job. He loves it. It's always good when Peter loves something that he makes, because he's a good critic of himself, which is good. It makes every one of his artwork better and better each time. But he's pretty satisfied with this one. I'm very satisfied with it. I'm looking forward to showing it to you. And that's going to happen next Wednesday night. So I will not be here next Wednesday night. My family, my wife and my kids, we go to the beach each year. And next week is the week. And we try to do it a week or two after Labor Day each year. It just makes the most sense for us. It's just best for us. So I will be gone next Wednesday night. But what I'm going to do next Wednesday night, I won't be here live, but I actually have a pre-recorded interview with Peter, the artist that does the box art for Eduard. He does the book covers for our new Squadron books. He does magazine covers. He does box art for other companies. He does all sorts of this. So this box art, this whole B-17 scene here, this was designed and rendered in 3D by Peter. So anyway, I've got an interview that I will be showing next Wednesday night at 9 o'clock in the normal time for our show. But just know that it won't be live. It's going to be pre-recorded. So I'm not 100% sure if the chat will be working or not. If it can, cool. I'll let you guys talk. But most likely, it's just going to be like any other YouTube video. But it will go live. Well, not live. It will become active and able to be viewed starting at 9 o'clock next Wednesday night. Anyway, so I'm talking with Peter. He's going to tell us a little bit about what he does, how he got started doing what he does, why he enjoys it, all this kind of stuff. And then we're going to show you the B-17 poster that he created for us that's going to be available for you. So, and then the following week, they will be available to you. And I've still got to work out the details on how that's going to be available to you, but that's to come. So anyway, make sure to check it out next Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, interview with Peter. And then I'll be back the next week. We'll be live again. And who knows what we'll get into. Oh, man. All right. Michael, yes, you do need this coffee mug, and I've got to figure out how to get enough of them made so I can offer one to you. But that's coming. That is coming. All right. Let's see. The poster from Eduard, no, that was a one-time thing with them, and none of our kits had them. But the poster that we are making will be available to you for sure. So, hey, Kenny, good to see you coming to us over at Facebook. Let's see. Oh, and Danny, my biggest fan of the hot sauce, besides myself, of course. So the supplier that obviously you can imagine we're not mixing up hot sauce out in the warehouse. So we've got a supplier that makes it and bottles it and all that kind of stuff. And the next batch, so to speak, we're not going to do just the one. We're going to do three. You're going to have the B-17 that we haven't done yet. We're going to have the B-24 again, and we'll have a B-29. Well, one of the flavors that we wanted to go with, they're out. So they've got to make another batch, do another set of bottling and all that. So I don't know. They said it's going to be sometime this month, but I know how production goes. So maybe it'll be this month, maybe it'll be October, but it's coming, and you'll have 3 different flavors to choose from this time. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Now your wife wants the coffee mug. All right, well, obviously the coffee mug needs to go to the top of the list of things to get done. So we'll try to get that going. All right, let me jump over here to the show and tell that we've got tonight. So, you know that all of the show and tells so far, I've done them a certain way where I share the screen and put the picture up. Well, the last few times, I don't know what the heck was going on. It was washing the pictures out, and it just wasn't working out good. So, this little streaming software that I use, it's probably not little. The software I use allows me to input PowerPoint presentations into the stream. And that's what I've done tonight. And actually, we're going to start off with Ed Gruhn's stuff because he was kind enough to send me his submissions in a PowerPoint. So that was extremely easy. So thank you, Ed. Your file you sent me worked out wonderfully, or at least I think it did. We'll find out in just a minute. And then I put everything else. So I'm hoping that this is a better and it flows better of a show and tell than we've had in the past. And that's the goal, right? But if it's worse, I apologize in advance because I have no idea, but we're about to find out. Oh, man. David, the big black Squadron Cup, I would like to make these available. I'm not sure yet. This is something my mother actually made for me, and very, very, very low production at this point. But if we can figure out a way to have these made up, uh, in bulk, so to speak, we'd love to offer it because they work great. Let's see. Oh, and hey, Jose, nice to see you tonight, buddy. Coming from Facebook, and anybody that's watching from Facebook tonight, if you're wondering where all these chats, I keep throwing them up on the screen, and you're not seeing any chats going on in Facebook. Is most everybody is watching at the YouTube channel, so watching at Facebook is perfectly fine. That's why I stream it there too. But I get emails after the show some Wednesday nights where people are watching from Facebook and were wondering why they couldn't see everybody's chat. So that's why. But anyway, the new building is going really good. Let's see. I got a picture here that I'll show you real quick. The should have saved this before. So bear with me. The final location or the final wing or leg or whatever of the warehouse is almost ready. They were, get it pulled up here. This was a picture I took this afternoon. So this, what you're looking at here, both of these, all the way from, well, there's four doors, four big doors, all that whole stretch there, all the way across. That'll be us. In the middle there is, it goes down into the middle of the building. That's where our loading dock is. But everything is pretty much done. They just paved the parking lot this week, actually. They were finishing it up today, cutting the lines in it and everything. And I think about the main thing left to do, they got a little bit of work in this building over here on the left. That will be, if you come visit us, that's where the Squadron shop and the museum and all that's going to be. And that's taken a little bit longer because there's some finish work with, sheetrock and air conditioner and drop ceiling and all that kind of fun stuff. But they tell us that we'll be ready to move into this part in the end of September. Right now, so where I'm standing in this picture is at the front door of, where we're working out of right now. And let's see. Yeah. And I turned around right where I was standing and I took this picture. So this is, it's an organized mess, if you can believe that. We've been so unorganized for so many weeks now, it's starting to be normal. And somehow or another, we're able to find things. But the biggest thing that we're lacking in here that's really kind of not great is our big pallet rack shelves. We did not set those up in this building because they're not going in this building. They're going in that other picture I showed you, the right side. That's going to be floor to ceiling, front to back, side to side, slap full warehouse. So we didn't want to take the time to set them all up because they're not the easiest thing in the world to set up. But we're making do. We're making do. Like I said, I'm going on vacation next week. And the plan, we'll see how this goes. It kind of worked out perfect because I'll be gone next week. And then the week I get back, they're supposed to have that building ready for us to start. They said we can start assembling our shelves and stuff, which will be perfectly fine. And then by the time we get all our shelves put up, they'll have the final CO. We can move in there, permanently and start setting up the shop. And fingers crossed, have it open for you guys to come visit very soon. So we'll see. Plenty of parking for the next Eagle Quest. Yeah. Well, the fun thing about that is Camp Jordan is right across the street, and that certainly is large enough. So we will see. We will see. Well, let's jump into this fun stuff tonight, right? get my background music going. It's one of my favorite parts about the the show and tell. I kind of dig this song. I don't know why, but whatever. Hopefully, it's not terrible for you. So, up first, we've got Ed Groon. And like I said, he was nice enough to create his own PowerPoint to give to me, which I thought was nice. All labeled up. And if you are capable of doing this, making a slideshow, give it to me. You can put whatever detail you want in there. So you see that this is his 1/10 scale, true details ejection seat. Man, these things are really, really cool. When we first bought Squadron and got everything here, we had a few of the masters for these cockpit or these ejection seats. I didn't have all the parts. A lot of stuff was missing, so they're never coming back. But they're really neat. So that's a great job on that one, Ed. Let's see. Oh, and there's another one. He purchased this from Squadron when they were out in Texas, and they went bankrupt the next week. Wow. So I guess we can say that was your last purchase from the Texas Squadron. That looks really good. All right. To me, a 35th scale Jeep powered table saw. Now that is very interesting. And it's very interesting and cool that you've got the picture to back up what this is. All right, let's see. So, Fort Benning. All right. Jeep was used to power a table saw. Huh. The saw is balsa. All right. Well, that's awesome. It's always neat to find a cool picture like this and then recreate it in scale. And that's a really good job. So awesome. Let's see what else you got. That's a fun one. All right. So this, I'm going to assume that you know what this is, what the subject matter is. So this was something that CMK, I'm going to hope and assume that they already had this in progress and they were already working on this, because this was released very, very quickly after the tragic ending of this submarine, whatever the correct terminology for it is. But they were, to my knowledge, these were first available last year in Texas at the Nationals. And according to Ed, he bought it from some guy named Brandon at the Nationals last year. It's a pretty neat little kit, 3D printed, and yours certainly turned out pretty nice. Good job on that, Ed. And this is the good old 200 scale Verlinden kit of the Monitor. It was always interesting to me how Verlinden had a series of these Civil War boats in 200 scale, and then Flagship had them in 192 scale. Very, very similar scales, but of course, fast forward to today, and 200 scale has won the scale wars. That's kind of the go-to scale in that size range now, I guess you could say. He's got a little description written up here. The kit represents the Monitor as she appeared during the summer and fall of 1862 after the battle with Virginia. With raised boiler intakes and exhaust stacks and sloped pilot house sides, the kit came with the open turret with the Dahlgren guns, but it added the internal bracing and top grid work. There you go. Canopy was from a Lone Star Models kit, which, if you don't know, Lone Star Models was the company that Rusty White purchased and then created Flagship models. So all the Lone Star models ended up being Flagship models. And added HO scale headlights. You know, that's funny that you use those. and I'm probably going to ask this question and then completely forget to look in the chat for your answer because I'm on like a 30-second to 1 minute delay when I talk. And I don't see your guys' chat for like 30 seconds. Anyway, the HO scale headlights, are those MV lenses? Is that what you used for those? Because if it is, that's funny because there's another model coming up that I did actually that I used MV lenses for. So very neat seeing the crossover. There's so much stuff from HO gauge or HO scale layouts and trains and whatnot that end up making their way into the model building, especially when you get into doing diorama stuff. But all right, well, next up we've got Bill Moore, and this is his 35th scale Rich Models Skoda kit. So that's a good job on that, Bill. And Bill, check it out. Gotta love the shirt. All right, let's see. Oh, and looky, there's my answer. MV lenses. If you guys haven't used any MV lenses, they're the coolest thing. Any kind of lights and things you need, lenses, headlights, whatever, they work really good. The only thing that, and maybe it's something that I have done wrong, but the ones that I've used over time, they turn yellow. If you have any idea how to make that not happen, I'm all ears. They still look good. I mean, really, they don't look bad, especially when, like, for what I used them for, which we'll see in a minute. In some ways, they actually look better after they yellowed for my application, but I can see how, for some things, you would not want them to be yellow. So anyway, nice job on that, Bill. Next, we've got Danny, Mr. Hot Sauce Man, and I see your Buc-ee's cup back there. You know, I'm sure like a lot of other people this day and age, but whenever I go out of town and I know there's a Buc-ee's, my wife is like on me. She's like, "Hey, we're stopping at Buc-ee's." And talking about hot sauce, they got a nice hot sauce collection there. So anyway, this is Danny Haney's 72 scale atomic anti kit. You might have told me in the email, so I apologize if I get this wrong, but I'm going to assume, since it's 72 scale, that this is the Dragon kit. I could be totally out in left field on that, so correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, Danny. But that's a nice job. That's a cool, very, very cool kit. He did a good job on it. All right, moving on to Derek Leiker. And this is his 72 scale Academy MiG-21 that he's done up in finish markings. Good job on that. And I think the only bad thing about this slideshow is I can't see what's next. I think I've got another picture of this. Let's see. Yes, we do. Excellent. Derek, if you are here in the chat, tell us what paint you used to get those two shades of the silver there, or chrome, or aluminum, rather. It's a nice job on it. Oh, good, we got a third picture. Right. Well, cool. That was Derek's MiG-21. All right, up next, we've got Banks Haley. And if I remember correctly, we've got a few pictures from him, so we'll go through here. First up, we've got his 48 scale Abrams Tamiya kit. Yeah, 48 scale armor, you know, you just don't see too much of it, but to me is kind of the go-to. And of course, you got Hobby Boss has several choices as well. But it's I think it's becoming a little bit more and more popular lately. I think a lot of people are really starting to, I don't know, like to build multiple subject matter all in the same scale. And I think that's kind of why You've seen border models starting to do 35th scale aircraft, and it's probably the same concept. If I just had to guess, I'm going to just make a lot of assuming tonight, right, or assumptions tonight. But I would imagine that Tamiya had the same thought process back when they started doing their 48 scale armor kits. Of course, they do a lot of 48 scale aircraft. Maybe a lot of people, want to do other ground subjects, vehicles, but do it in the same scale as the aircraft. Tamiya does a good job with it. So but that's a good job on the Abrams. Got another couple pictures of it. All right, there's that. Check that out. Nice groundwork as well. Right, next up is still same guy, Banks Haley here. And this is 48 scale as well. Tamiya Ashhorn. And he's done this one up in a winter pattern. I think we got a couple of pictures of this one too. They've been going down the dirt roads. Nice job on that weathering on the back end there. Right. Get to see inside there. Very nice. And before we go to his neck, I think I've got one more from him. I'm going to back up here for a second. Derek just gave us the answer. The MiG was finished in Alclad and Tamiya acrylic. So, yeah, that Alclad stuff, that stuff's like magic for me. It just it works really good. So, glad to hear that's what you use. That means theoretically I could get similar results if I try really hard. You did really good on that. So, all right, let's see. All right, so this is the last one from Banks here, and we're moving down a little bit to 72 scale. And these, I believe he said these were trumpeter kits. You got the Bradley and the Patton. Yeah, sometimes you forget that Trumpeter has such a huge selection of 72 scale armor. It's kind of just, I don't know why. We see all these new 72 scale brands coming out, whether it's, I don't know, Vespid or Model Collect or, whatever. But Trumpeter's got a really pretty big range of 72 scale vehicles. So you did a nice job on these, buddy. All right, moving down the line here. Oh, that was I had to split these slideshows up into 4 different ones because my software will not allow me to upload a slideshow larger than 50 meg, and I was right under 200 meg for the size, so had to split them up. And before we go to the next one, then let me see what you guys are talking about over here. Let's see. Yeah, so Ed's talking about the NV lenses, going back to that. He's had them yellow on you too. So I guess it's just a normal thing, I guess. I opened up a can of worms about Buc-ee's. Well, love it or hate it, it's not like they're on every corner anyway. I think our closest one is like 3 hours from here. Well, heck, it's probably the closest one to you too, Jason. You're closer than me. Let's see. All right. So, I see this question a couple times in here, and I actually don't know the answer to that the way. I feel like I should know that, but I don't know. Yeah, Bandai did 48 scale armor kits years ago. I forgot about that. Um, and I have no idea. And they did some 35th scale too. I have no idea where those molds are now. I would, because you're asking this question, you might know something I don't. That they were definitely sold, but I would assume they still have them. Uh, Bandai is like the second largest toy company in the world. I don't imagine that they would need to sell something. But then again, that may have not been the case years ago when they sold them, if they in fact sold them. So I don't know. I'll have to do some research. If anybody knows the answer to that, that would be cool to know what they're doing with them. But they're doing a lot of robots and Gundams and Star Wars stuff these days. Yeah, I see Jason and Tim, you guys talking about the Calhoun. You're right. Calhoun Bucky's is close to me, but I never go that way, so I just don't think about that. Uh, like I never drive between here and Atlanta. If I'm ever going south or so far, I'm going back to Ellijay or Blue Ridge. My wife's mother still lives there, and if I'm going anywhere else, I'm going north. So you're right. There is one in Calhoun, but I just never think of that one. All right. So next up, we're going to move over to our next slideshow here. And this is James Robinette here. And when I saw this picture come in, I got pretty excited because this is a very cool kit to me. This is Model Collect's new Horton Flying Wing, the America Bomber, as they called it. And Model Collect's got, I don't know, two or three, maybe four different versions of this thing. It's all the same kit, just with different paint markings, and I don't know, they might have a couple different armament options. But anyway, same basic kit, regardless of which box you get. And this is James's version of that. It's very cool. This is 72 scale. Able to see all the bombs up under the bottom. It's a neat kit. And of course, Model Collect is the company that does all of the Fist of War series and all the 1946 What If and Never Was and all that kind of stuff. Actually, I showed you this last week. This is one of their newer ones. This is a obviously completely fictional Japanese version of that thing. And I say completely fictional. I don't know. Maybe they had plans or blueprints or drawings or ideas or whatever, but it's pretty neat. So this company, if you ever see Fist of War, yeah, there we go. I was going to say they've started going by Fist of War, but their actual brand is Model Collect. But all of their What If stuff, they go by that Fist of War. So anyway, so that's a really good job on that. I like that. And yes, we do have those. Let's see. Let's take a trip over to Squadron. If you go here, I don't know how we're going to get to it. Just type in Horton. There it is. So there's the box art for that thing. Just neat. Like I said, they've got a few different versions of it. These other ones that they've announced, we've never got them yet. This was the one they actually call the America Bomber, and I hope to get them soon, but we've not got those yet. But yeah, it's a very cool kit if you're into that sort of thing. They did a nice job on it, and James has done a nice job building his, for sure. The front side of it, just really neat. All right. So anyway, there's There's James and his Horton. Very cool. Thanks for showing that. Next up, we're going to jump over here to Jason. And a little change of pace here as we get into the Gundam world. We've talked a lot about Gundams over the past few weeks. And I assume that everybody knows what we're talking about. You might not know very much about them, but at least you have seen them. But if not, this is what we're talking about. These are made by Bandai, and very, very cool stuff. And this particular one is a 100 scale, and this is what they call a master grade. They have different, I don't know, maybe, and Jason could describe it better than me, but maybe you can think of the old Revell kits where they had, level 1, level 2, level 3. They've got different grades, as they call them. This is a master grade. They've got perfect grade. They've got these different levels of build complexity and whatnot. And, so anyway, this one is a master grade, and Jason's done a really good job on this. And Jason, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but a lot of times on these kits, some of the parts you can change the the pose. They're movable, and if you look at some of these pictures, it almost looks like he's done that in these different pictures. So that's one of the cool things about this is you can have it set up different ways, at different times. So. Okay, yeah, Jason says yes, it basically builds up as an action figure. Okay, well, that's awesome. Good job on that. Excuse me. I missed my mute button before I coughed. All right. Well, that is really cool, Jason. Thank you for showing us that. So now, everybody, if you have not seen a Gundam, now you have, and now you know what all the younger guys are talking about being able to bring to our IPMS club. And I know that Jason's club up there at their show, they always have a pretty big turnout of these things. So pretty neat. Pretty cool. Awesome. All right. That is the end of the second slideshow. I keep having to, and I think Jason's pictures were rather large, which is no problem. When you guys send me pictures, the higher the resolution, the better. If I have to make 50 slideshows, then so be it. See, Ed. Yeah, I knew that you had somebody that lived over here. I forgot who it was, but next time you're over this way, you got to come up and see us. A Ratfink style Bucky model kit. Nothing would surprise me. Tim, I might know an Alex from up there. It doesn't ring a bell right this very second, but I'll have to do some remembering, I guess. All right, so talking about Model Collect, and we'll jump back to the show and tell in just a minute. We're about halfway through it. The B1, I have no idea. They apparently have I hate to say bad habit, but apparently they have a bad habit of announcing things that they think are good ideas, and then when they realize how much it's going to cost, and they realize how they're not going to potentially sell as many as they need to, they may or may not continue with the project. And that is unfortunately what I think has happened to a lot of the Model Collect stuff. It's not to say that it's never going to happen, but to my knowledge, that one is nowhere even close to to production. I could always be wrong. I could get a phone call tomorrow and they're ready, but I really don't think that one is anywhere close, unfortunately, because it will be really awesome if they ever get it done. And Mark liked the Horton build up there. All right, let's see. Oh, here's an answer from David about Bandai armor. He says they dropped the armor line to the U.S. to be sold by Tamiya and Hobby Boss as they start. Okay. So in other words, they let Tamiya and Hobby Boss be the 48 skill guys, and they moved on to their robots. Well, whatever works for your company, I guess. But, being outsold by Tamiya for an armor kit doesn't surprise me. I always say you can't go wrong with Tamiya. Chris wants to know why the Dora behind me does not seem to be progressing. If you guys keep pointing out that it never progresses, maybe I'll just leave it there from now on, never touch it, so it can always be something you joke me about, I suppose. And Tim says that assuming we're talking about Bandai still here, Bandai had some accuracy issues. So, hey, we know all about that. If it's not accurate, we don't want it. So if that was a part of it, then that would certainly be a killer for your sales. So, hey, Bill, good to see you tonight, buddy. So just a few minutes ago, we showed your show and tell, and let's see. I don't remember where it was. I didn't realize you weren't here yet. Let's see. There you go. So that's what I had for you there, the Skoda that you sent us in. So we talked about that a little while ago. You did a nice job on that, but good to see you tonight. I'm a Dora slacker. That is a accurate statement at this point. But hey, one of these days, y'all are gonna fall out of your chair because the show's gonna start and boom, there it's gonna be all finished. Might not be for a couple of years, but it's gonna happen one day, and you aren't gonna believe it. All right, let's jump into the next one. So this is Jim, and this is his 35th scale TACM in M3 Lee. And this is these are cool tanks to me. And I was talking to somebody about TACM kits today, and TACM is one of those companies that does all their stuff is really, really nice, but they do such short production runs. That's the bad thing. You got to get them when they're available. The good thing is usually if it was a good seller, they will reissue it, but sometimes it's a year, 2 years between the production runs. But that's a really good job on that one, Jim. And next, this is his Tamiya kit. Can't go wrong with a Tamiya kit. And this one, he says, is his Walker Bulldog. So good job on that. And Tim, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, that would explain the delays. Then I got you. All right, moving on to Jim's third entry here. This is the patent that he's gotten. This is another Tamiya kit. Very cool. Make the finished door the icebreaker for the first Squadron open house. You guys really don't want to wait that long to come visit the new Squadron shop. So we don't need to make that we don't need to wait for the door to be finished to do that. That would be terrible. Either that or I just stay home from work and work on it all day long for a few weeks. All right, and Jim's Panther here. Excuse me. Right. Well, thank you, Jim. Those are very nice. All right, next up, we've got Mark Egger's leopard, German leopard. And as he usually does, he writes on the bottom of the kit what it is, how big it is, and who's it by, and all that. So, very cool way to keep up with what you've got going on. And here's the front view of it. All right, well, and I want to go back. Is it okay? Yes, Tamiya. I thought it was. Lots of Tamiya tonight. Nothing wrong with that. All right, and this is Mark's collection. And Mark, forgive me if I missed it in the email, but I didn't see labels for these. And even though I know what most of them are, I may not know exactly which version or whatnot. So I just labeled this Mark Crumry's collection, and we're going to scroll through because you sent me a lot of pictures and it's a lot of good stuff. But we'll just check them out. Job on that. I like they did the deck there, or the base, the wood slats. It's always cool to me to see these yellow wings. Probably because I'm terrible at painting yellow, so whenever somebody does it well, it's impressive to me. I think we've talked about that a lot here. Yellow and red, orange, always fun colors to drive you crazy, but that turned out well for you, Mark. And from my end, these pictures are showing up quite a bit better tonight than they have in the past. If that's the case, let me know in the comments. If this format works better than it has, then this is the format we will keep for the show and tell from now on, or until we find something even better, I guess. And by the way, Mark, you are somehow able to finish a significantly larger amount of models than I am. So, kudos to you. That's awesome how many kits you're able to get done. And he does not stick with one type of thing. He doesn't stick with aircraft. He ventures out into other things. This is kind of cool. I'm assuming here that's 25th scale or 24th scale or somewhere in there. If not, let me know. It's kind of, I love the way you took the picture. It's kind of hard to get an idea of scale. It looks kind of real. Yeah, and Mark has sent us pictures in previous shows, and I always like the way you do your backdrops. It's kind of cool. And I want to go back to a question I saw in the chat a minute ago. Oh, that's a good picture there. That's cool. This question was from Joseph Carpenter a few minutes ago. You said, who's making the Arizona with the float plane? I'm assuming you're talking about the turret with a catapult on top of it. And I haven't seen that. So wherever you saw that announcement, please email me because I need to jump on that. That would be, I'm hoping that's something that I've been hoping that border models would do in 35th scale. But if they don't do it in 35th scale, TACM would certainly be the other good candidate to do it, probably in 72 scale. So email me wherever you saw that announcement. I need to check that out and jump on it because that'll be awesome. Moving on to the helicopters. So, Mark, your backdrops there, are they printed? Do you paint them? What are you doing back there? They look really nice. Just curious what they are. All right, and looks like a lot of answers coming in about the pictures being better, light years better, the way he says. So, all right, cool. Well, I'm glad the pictures are showing up better tonight, and I apologize for anybody that was part of a previous show and tell. If your pictures did not do your model justice, please feel free to send them to me again, and I'll put them in a future show under this new format. Very nice pictures, Mark. All right, and next we are going to move to Michael Canner. Now, he has previously shown us some work in progress pictures of this, and I believe these are still work in progress, if I understood his email correct, but very, very close to finish. This is the Verifier Yamato, 350th scale. He said this is 2 months in so far, working on it sort of nonstop. Very nice. Lots of work going into that for sure, buddy. Looking forward to seeing your finalized pictures of it. I know it'll be great. Yep. Big old ship. All right, and that is the end of our third slide. I've got one more slide with cool stuff to see. And looks like there are 42 pictures in the last slide. So we got a few more pictures to see here. I appreciate you guys sending all this stuff. At the start of the month, I wasn't getting very many pictures sent in. And over the past week or so, you guys covered me up. So this is great. We will definitely continue this next month for sure. All right, let's see. Oh, Mark says the Kalmbach backdrop. That's interesting. Okay. Huh. Buildings. So it's all pictures that you're using. That's very neat. I like the way that you do that. So I love it. You know, in this next slide, I've got a couple models that I've built, and I'm like, a lot of people, we just take a picture of the model on the table, but you kind of take a little bit more pride, if you will, in displaying your models for pictures. So I appreciate that. That's really nice. Back up here, Bill said he loves it when someone pays attention to building your models as well as taking pictures of them. So I don't think I'm the only one that appreciates the way you take those pictures. So I guess I better take better pictures of my models. Awesome. Well, let's see. All right, so it might not be a Dora, but I do get a model finished every once in a blue moon. And this is my 350th scale Fort Drum. And Ed, this is the one I was talking about. I used MV lenses on. If you look at the top of the cage mast, there are 3 large searchlights, and I've got MV lenses on the front of those searchlights. And in this picture, you can't really tell it, but they've yellowed. But like I said, for this application, early 1900s, I think the yellow kind of fits. So at least that's what I'm telling myself, because I'm not replacing them. So this is a fun build. I liked it. It's a cool thing. And then let's see. This is a 192 scale USS John R. Craig, the gearing class of Fram or Fram 2, I forget. This is an Iron Shipwrights kit. So, yeah, Chris Martins, if you're in here, and we've talked about building an Iron Shipwrights kit together. See, I told you, I've built one. And then I think I have shown you guys this picture or this ship before, but considering it was in the thumbnail of tonight's video, I figured I better include it in the slide. This is my 350th scale Montana that I built. But instead of just showing you the one Montana, and this was the old Yankee Model Works version. This is not the new Verifier version. And it's definitely not the new Trumpeter version, which, by the way, will be here at the end of this month. The Trumpeter version of this will be. And the cool thing about this, or at least I thought it was cool at the time we made it, we produced, once we bought this, we reissued this as a Blue Ridge models, and then we created different turrets and gun barrels for it. And this is the same ship with 18-inch turrets and gun barrels on it. And then we really had and these were based on the real 18-inch gun barrels that they built and test fired, and one of them still on display. But so that's kind of neat. But then we had a really wacky idea, and we made 20-inch gun barrels for it in a dual gun configuration. So when I built the kit, I built a set of all the different turrets, and I didn't glue them all. And you can just put them on there and spin them, so I could replace the turrets for whatever I was feeling for the day. So it's kind of neat. And I've had a lot of requests for those turrets, specifically the 18-inch, but some for the 20-inch too. So they will work on the Verifier kit, and now that Trumpeter's doing one as well, I think we're going to be reissuing these turret sets sometime soon. So if you're crazy like me and that's something you would be interested in, we'll have them available again soon. So anyway, that's all for my builds for tonight. Let's move on to uh-oh, I forgot to put the name in here. Let me see. I apologize. Okay, this is Randy Harvey. All right, so this is Randy Harvey in his collection here. This is a Academy kit. That's very cool. All right. And Lady Knievel, that gearing, I don't know if it's still available or not. I'll find out. We sell Iron Shipwrights kits. You will not find them on our website right this moment. Trying to get all the pictures and things updated, and we'll have them all available on our site again soon, probably right after we get finished settling into this new place. But a lot of his stuff is still available, but a lot of his stuff he's been in the process of revamping, so to speak, and upgrading a lot of the older parts, redoing them in 3D. So a lot of his kits nowadays, you still get a resin hull and a resin superstructure, but a lot of the smaller parts are 3D now. So perhaps that's the boat that kit is in. But we'll find out, because it's a nice kit. It builds up well. That's a cool little thing, a 72 scale hydroplane. Oh, A model. And A model has some wacky subjects. We got some really, really big kits too. Very cool. I like the way you're doing your display stand there to hold it up, Randy. It's creative. Tim says kudos for completing an A model kit. Well, if you've ever built one, you know what Tim means. Yeah, Rodin kit. Yeah, Rodin also has some wacky subjects in their 72 skill line. All right. So next up, we've got Randy Van Dyke, and this is his morale support kit. And the interesting thing about this kit is Randy actually is the one that produced this kit. It's a 1/6 scale resin figure sculpted by Roberto Von Bear, and Randy's the one that commissioned him to do it. So he commissioned him to make the kit. He had the resin casted, and he painted this one. So pretty interesting kit of a girl painting the kill markings on the B-17. And 1/6 scale, if you're not familiar, is about a foot tall. So it's a pretty large figure. And actually, it's a very large figure. Here's what one looks like. So they're cool stuff. So good job on that, Randy. But he also has this guy that I think is really fantastic. I got to see this built up at Wonderfest this year. He had it there. Randy does a really good job at painting figures, or at least I think so. One of these days, I'm going to have him on the show with me so he can tell us all his method for painting figures. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Randy. And next up, we've got Scott Abrams. This is his B-24, the life markings on it. Nice job on this one, Scott. Yeah, Scott has been a friend for a while. Lives out in California, but he's got family that lives in Blue Ridge. So when he would come visit family, he'd always come by the shop. So I apologize, Scott. We're a little bit further off the beaten path that you would normally take, but not too far. Perhaps you can still come check out the new shop when you make your way over here. There's his ME-262 that he's just painted. Still got the masking tape on the canopy. Looking forward to seeing the finalized picture of that one, buddy. All right, thank you for those, Scott. Moving on to Steven Zielinski. And this is the one image we have of this ship for tonight. It's the 350th scale HMS Prince of Wales from Tamiya. Keeping on that Tamiya bandwagon tonight. They they have so many good kits. You did a nice job on that, Steven. Very good. Nice work on the camo pattern on the side, too. All right. Wes Miller is up next, another 350th scale battleship. This is the Bismarck from Tamiya. Yet again, Tamiya. Nice job on that. And Wes has also sent us pictures of his Rhedosaurus from X Plus attacking the lighthouse. Relatively new kit from X Plus. And let's see, I think the neck, yeah, there you go. He's got the light turned on too. So there it is off, and there he is, got it all lit up. So that's cool. And this is his robot with, this is the same, it's two different pictures of the same kit. The one on the left is with the lights off, and the one on the right is with the lights on. It's Robbie, the robot. So, very cool. Thank you for sending those in. Next, we've got William Davis with his 350th HMS Ark Royal. And he said he used the Very Fire detail upset. Super photo etch and everything else in the box set. That's a very nice job on that. Right. One more picture of this, and then we got one more submission, and that's it for the night. So great job on that, William. Thank you for sending that. Yeah, that is always a cool carrier to see built up. Very nice. All right, and last but not least, Todd Huey, I guess. This is his Revell Tycho, the 219 Owl. He says this is the old 1976 issue of the kit. And he actually said that this was the last model he built, and that he was pretty excited he was getting back into modeling after being out of the hobby for a while. So looking forward to seeing what you have in the works for building soon. Awesome. Well, that was an excellent display of pictures. So I'm going to scroll through the chat and see if I missed anything real quick. Joseph, yes, the Retisauruses, they are in stock. You can check those out over at Squadron. Actually, all the X Plus stuff. Let's see. Yeah, here they are. So that's what they look like. Pretty neat. Pretty cool kits. But yeah, those are here. Let's see. Yeah, and Wes, I apologize. So Wes did send me a video, but it would not let me put that in the slideshow. But hold on just a second. Let's see. See if I can pull it up outside of the slideshow.
Robbie is programmed with 20 sound clips from the movie.
There you go. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Wes. I knew that I had it, but it wouldn't let me put it in the slideshow. But that's cool. It's very cool how you did that. You know, having lights is cool. Having moving parts is cool. But then when you put sound in it, it just takes a model to a whole nother level. So that's awesome. Good job on that. Let's see. Montana with a railgun. Well, I've always thought a Montana completely modernized would be cool, but only so much time in the day. Hey, you should do that. All right. Well, I guess that's about it for tonight, guys. Like I said, I'm out of here for a week, starting this weekend. But check it out next Wednesday night. I'm going to have a pre-recorded show scheduled for 9 o'clock. And if all things go according to how they're supposed to go, the pre-recorded show will be an interview with Peter, our 3D artist. And we'll just be talking about his 3D artwork. It'll be kind of like what we did last week with Lee, except now it's going to be with Peter and what he's currently doing with all of the modern 3D technology and the way that he paints in 3D and renders these awesome paintings. We'll show you the B-17 poster that he created for us, and we might even be able to show you the front cover of the new Planes, Names, and Dames book that he and I are working on. We'll see. But check that out next Wednesday night, and I will see you the following Wednesday night for our next live show. And I really appreciate it, guys. Look forward to seeing you again soon. But I'm going to be sitting on the beach for a week. I think I'll be able to watch F-35s flying over me. Usually that's what happens. We go down to Fort Walton Beach is where we go. And usually they're out flying around all week. So it's kind of cool. So you guys take it easy, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.